In this video, I'm going to show you how you can build your own custom knowledge base using a combination of Dify AI automation tool and InfraNodus. Why would you need something like this? Well, for example, here I have a website of the publishing house that we run, and we have a bookstore there online, and we have an option that our readers can talk to any book that they want to buy. So for example, here I have the book that I made called Special Agents Manual. It has a chat, and in order to build something like this to enable the users to chat with your content, you would need custom knowledge base that would be the content of that book. So when the user is speaking to that book, they're not just talking to the LLM, but to an LLM that is primed to think exactly like your book. And we do this exactly by connecting the content of the book through InfraNodus using the underlying knowledge graph that you see right now on your screen into Dify workflow. So here it's actually the workflow that I will show you how you can build, where you have users input through the chat. It goes in, then it connects to the knowledge, which is this InfraNodus graph. And then this knowledge sends additional context to the model. So now the model is not just answering anything, but it's basing its answer on the knowledge provided, on the specific content from the book, and then it provides the answer. And then you can embed it into your website or use it with an external webhook and connect it to your other LLM workflows. So if you're interested to learn how it works, keep watching and I will demonstrate step by step how to set it up. So first of all, you will need to create a graph inside InfraNodus, which will act as the brain for your system. And you can actually create also several different graphs for several books. So for example, here I have my book, Special Agents Manual, and I have the graph of that book here. In order to create it, you go to the apps page and you can click on Analyze Text, and you can either paste the text or upload any file here. And then once you upload the file, then it will be visualized as a graph. You can also import from a variety of external sources. It can be YouTube search results, Google search results, AI generated stuff, RSS feeds, and so on. And you can even create custom ontologies. We have another video that I will link to where I talk about how to create these ontologies. So you tell your model not what to think, but how to think, which can also be quite interesting. But here I have the graph of the book that I created. And this is already pretty cool because I can see what the content is about. I have a visual overview of that here. I can see that it's about agent dynamics here, system integration, order flow, creative constructs. By the way, the book is about special agents, but really it's just a name that is used to describe an interesting approach to positioning yourself in this reality. So it's really like an artistic book. It's not about real special agents, although it touches on that subject as well. But here I have this overview, okay? And now I will connect Dify to that brain. So this is like an interconnected brain. Every word that is used in the book is a node. Every co-occurrence is the connection. We use graph analysis to identify the main topics, and we give this extra information to the model so it knows the general context. But also the way it works is that when the user asks a question, it will understand which part of the graph is being queried. So for example, if the user is asking something about system and recommend, then it's just going to focus on that part of the graph. So in addition to the traditional RAG method, retrieval augmented generation, that uses similarity to the user's query to retrieve relevant content, here it's also using the parts of the graphs and the relations and then adds this into the system. So you add this information in, and then it goes here, and then the result is provided. So now that you built the graph in InfraNodus, what you need to do next is go to your Dify. And here you have a special option to create your own custom knowledge. So you go to the knowledge and then connect to an external knowledge base. Click here, and now you can specify which knowledge base you will be building. So first of all, you need to create an external knowledge API. I already have one here, but I'm going to create a new one just for the demonstration purposes. So I'm going to call it SA, and the endpoint that I will provide for it, I'm going to also link to it in the description to the video. And also we have a support article that I'm also going to link to above, where you can read about this step by step. So you just need to provide this endpoint. This is the endpoint for Dify to retrieve information from your graphs. Okay, and here is the API key. The API key you can get in your user API, and then you create API key and you call it Dify Cloud, for example, if this is the instance you're using, and then you click create, copy that API key, then go back to your Dify and paste it here, save. Okay, so the important thing here is that you select then the external knowledge base that you will be using. You need to make sure it's the correct one if you have a few. and then you give a name to that external knowledge base. So for example, can be say here as well. And then now you need to provide the ID of the knowledge, and this is the graph that you will be querying. So here I need to choose this graph. It's going to be Special Agents Manual here. And I just copy the name of the graph here, and then I put it into my knowledge ID. That's all I need to do. So you see, I created the API, I connected it to InfraNodus here. I can verify that the URL is correct. It has my API key, so that means I can connect to this specific user account. And here I'm telling the system which graph it should be querying to get this information. Okay, so then I click connect, and let's see what happens here. It should be added, but sometimes you need to reload the page to see it again. So now I have this new knowledge base. I can click here, and now I can test how it's retrieving information. So for example, if I ask what is a special agent here, okay, and click test, what's going to happen is that Dify is going to send a request to that knowledge base, and then it's going to retrieve the results here. So here you see it provides chunks of text that are most relevant to special agent, and it's based both on GraphRAG and also on RAG. So you have both approaches here, the similarity one and also the overlap in the graph itself. If you want, you can make the retrieval setting a bit more permissive. So I like to put it to actually top 10 results and to reduce the threshold to 0, because InfraNodus works in the way where it's going to retrieve anyway the most relevant results, and you will just have a bit more context this way. So you see I have a bit more information here with the lower score. Actually here it's the same score because we have an overlap in the graph. But if you have a more general question like what is it about, then the retrieval is going to be a little bit more general in this case. So this is what's going to happen here. You see the scores are lower, but you still get quite relevant info even for a general query like this. And this is why GraphRAG is so nice, because unlike the traditional approach, which would just look for the similar statement to this very generic one, so it could be anything, here it has this contextual information in mind. So it knows what this book is about, and then it's going to retrieve statements that are most relevant for this topical cluster, so you get like a much better result in the end here. Okay, so now that you tested your knowledge base and it's working fine and it's good, then now you can go to the studio here, okay, and then you create a new workflow. And you can just click here, create from blank, and then you use chatflow. You can also use workflow. It's a bit more technical. I'm going to demonstrate it with chatflow, but it's basically the same approach. Give it a new name. I will call it test, click create, and you will already have a template from Dify for a very basic chatflow where you receive users' input. It goes to the LLM. The LLM is providing the answer. And if you click preview, you can actually preview it in a chatbot like this, and you can even embed this chatbot anywhere you want. But the problem here is that it's not querying your particular context or knowledge. So this is why we're adding the knowledge into this workflow. In order to do it, we click here, plus, then we say, okay, we want to add knowledge retrieval that will go from the user input. So you see, this is why I click the plus here next to the user input. And then it says, okay, as a query, you will be using the user's input query. So this is good. Here, we're specifying which knowledge we want to use. So we click on plus. We say that we use this knowledge, SAKB, that we already have. Add the knowledge here, okay? And then let's say, see if there is any other parameters that we can provide. No, this is all good. Let's see, edit here if there's something here. If we have everything correct, yeah, everything is correct. We use the external knowledge API from Special Agent. We have this graph that is specified, and you can actually increase here the retrieval settings. So I say 10 results and 0 threshold, because I trust InfraNodus will provide relevant info. So now that this knowledge base is connected here, I just need to connect it to LLM. Okay, I remove this link, so it means that user input first goes to the knowledge retrieval, then the knowledge goes into LLM, and now I just need to make one last edit on this LLM. I need to say that as a context, I'm going to use the knowledge retrieval result. So this is the context for this. And then I will also modify the system prompt for this LLM. Based on the context below, provide the best possible concise response to the user's query. And so the context I'm going to add here by clicking this button here, context. So now I have the system prompt that says, okay, use this context, use this knowledge to provide the best possible response. And the user query is already added here into the LLM, okay? And so then the final result is provided here. So then when I talk to this bot, I will say, what is a special agent? Okay, you see it visualizes what happens here. The user's input goes to the knowledge retrieval, and then here we can actually see what happened. Last run, we click here. Let's see if it shows the output. Yeah, the output is here below. So you see it provided responses from the knowledge base with the content here that is relevant, with the similarity score and so on. So we have this content now. Then it was fed into LLM. We can see what kind of prompt the LLM got. You see, so it has this input with the context and with the system prompt as well. And so then the result that it provides relates to the actual content of the book. If you just ask LLM what is a special agent, it would talk about FBI and stuff like that. But here it's talking about the content of the book. Actually, in this context, a special agent refers to an individual who has the capacity to act in a way that is intrinsic to their specific combination of code and environment. The ability is a skill that allows them to incorporate their imagination into reality through continuous practice. Perfect answer. Really relates to this book. If you want to get this book, you can get it on circadian.co. I will link above also so you can check it out. And yeah, here we have the functioning workflow. And if you would like to use it, feel free to reuse this workflow, and you can even embed this chat from Dify on your website. And you can use it for more complex workflows with webhooks and stuff like that. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope you find it interesting. And as always, I will answer to every comment you leave. And I leave a link to the description of this workflow on our support portal so you can follow it step by step as well. Thank you. And Merry Christmas.